Good day everyone! We are the Group 2 and today we're going to discuss about the Mga Gunita ng Himagsikan by Emilio Aguinaldo. I'm Priscilla Joyambao Torres and I'm going to discuss about the background of the author. So Emilio Aguinaldo Infami was born on March 22, 1869 and he died at February 2, 1964 at the age of 94 years old. So for those who don't know, Emilio Aguinaldo was the first and the youngest president of the Philippines, and he was the son of Carlos Aguinaldo and Trinidad Fami. Emilio was the seventh in the 8 children of Carlos and Trinidad Aguinaldo. So, Emilio Aguinaldo has a lot of nicknames. The first one is Kapitan Mitong, General Miyong, Kamyong, El Codilo, Magdalo, and Hermano Colon. So, Emilio Aguinaldo married twice. His first wife is Hilary Aguinaldo and they got married on January 21, 1896 and namatay siya noong 1921. So after 9 years na pagkamatay ng kanyang first wife, nagpakasal ulit si Emilio sa kanyang pangalawang asawa na si Maria Aguinaldo noong July 14, 1930 and namatay siya noong 1963. This is the family picture of Aguinaldos. Siblings of General Miyong. Their oldest is Benigno, followed by Felicidad, Crispulo, Primo, Ambrosio, Tomasa, and he was the seventh in the 8 siblings, and their youngest is Esteban. The Aguinaldos were a wealthy and influential family, with Carlos being Gobernador sila for several terms. So, kilala na ang mga Aguinaldos bilang isang mayaman na pamilya at napaka-influential dahil nga si Carlos ay isang Gobernador sila na paulit-ulit na termino. So, Emilio Aguinaldo studied at Colegio de San Juan de Letran, but sadly he wasn't able to finish his study due to outbreak of cholera in 1882. And Emilio Aguinaldo decided to follow his father at the age of 17. He became the cabeza de barangay of Binakayan. Like imagine guys, at the age of 17, na kaya niya nang mamuno sa isang barangay. On March 22 naman, 1897, he was elected as the president of Pamahalang Panghimagsikan in Barrio Tejeros, San Juan Francisco de Malabon. The death of General Miyong. He died at February 6, 1964 at the age of 94 years old in Quezon City, Metro Manila by heart attack. Between 1928 and 1946, Emilio Aguinaldo produced in a long hand the first volume of his memory entitled Mga Gunita ng Himagsikan, year 1964, and translate from the original Tagalog of The Memories of Revolution, year 1967, by Supilio Guevara. So in his preface, Emilio Aguinaldo said that the memories were based on the diary he kept for a long time and document he preserved and the family lore gathered from his elder. So, Mga Gunita ng Himagsikan was officially released to the Republic in 1967 and it was presumed by Humbert Ocampo. The second publication was made during the 100th anniversary of the Philippine independence, year 1998, and it was covered the resumption of the Philippine Revolution against the Spain and the Philippine-American War. Aguinaldo wanted to correct his history by making references to the historian-confused account of the beginning of the revolution. But not all resources was documented for the lack of reliable resources. So, the second publication, nung Gunita ng Himagsikan, year 1998, not all resources ay nandoon dahil nga sa lack of reliable resources. Hindi na yun nalagay, but still, nakapreserve pa rin yun. In added to the historical background of the documents, it made more added confusion to our history. Maybe there are still hidden diary and other paper tucked in Aguinaldo Shrine that can't track down to the volume 2 of Memories. So, may mga tinanggal sa volume 2 of Memories or the second publication is may mga tinanggal na mga resources dahil nga sa kakulangan ng reliable references. Pero may mga dinagdag naman sila dahil nga sa nakita nila dun sa Aguinaldo Shrine. And a year before Aguinaldo died, Aguinaldo donated his Kawit Mansion to the government. And now under the care of the National Historical Commission of the Philippines and kilala ngayon bilang Emilio Aguinaldo Shrine. And kasama niyang dinonate yung original House of Wood, yung iconic Independence Balcony. And later on malalaman nyo yung kung ano yung sinasabi kong Independence Balcony. The most significant achievement of Emilio Aguinaldo was a proclamation of Philippine Independence Day in Kawit, Cavite on June 12, 1898, and that day was declared as a national holiday. It gave us insight into a personal thoughts and feeling of Aguinaldo, which will help in deeper understanding of the Philippine history. This is the picture of the Philippine Independence Day. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina na Independence Balcony. Dahil napaka-iconic nito, dahil dito tumungtong si Emilio Aguinaldo nung dineclare niya ang Philippine Independence Day noong June 12, 1898. The Biak na Bato Republic located in San Miguel, Bulacan. Emilio Aguinaldo became the first president of the Philippine Republic and also the Biak na Bato Republic. So the Biak na Bato Republic was created by General Aguinaldo on November 15, 1897. It aims to separation from the Spain and formation of the Philippines as the independent state. So the republic existed until December 15, 1897 and the signing of the fact of Biak na Bato, and later on malalaman nyo kung ano yung kasunduan sa Biak na Bato. The Battle of Imus.
Battle of Imus. It is the first major battle of the Philippine Revolution against the Spanish colonial government in the province of Cavite. Ito ang kauna-unahang malaking labanan ng revolusyon ng mga Pilipino. And also, in August 1896, coordinated attacks broke out and sparked the revolution beginning in Manila. Aguinaldo marched from Kawit with 600 men and launched a series of skirmishes at Imus, ending in open hostilities against Spanish troops stationed there. Dito na nagsimulang magmarcha si Aguinaldo mula sa Kawit kasama ang 600 tauhan at naglusad ng sunod-sunod na labanan. On September 1st, with the aid of Captain Jose Table of Imus, they laid siege against Imus to draw the Spanish out. A Spanish relief column commanded by Brigadier General Ernesto de Aguirre had been dispatched from Manila to aid the beleaguered Spanish defenders of Imus. So the defenders of Imus were backed up by a Spanish relief column commanded by Brigadier General Ernesto de Aguirre. And Emilio Aguinaldo becomes the revolution in the province by studying the Kawit Revolt. Naging revolusyon sa lalawigan sa pamamagitan ng pag-aaral ng pag-aalsa ng Kawit. The Kawit Revolt was a short skirmish at the beginning of the revolution in Cavite. Captain Emilio Aguinaldo led some 400 men to the town hall of Kawit, guarded by a few guardian civil there. Supported only by 100 troops and by cavalry, Aguirre gave the impression that he had been sent out to suppress a minor disturbance. Aguinaldo and his men counterattacked but suffered heavy losses that almost cost his own life. Emilio Aguinaldo and his men related that it was his cousin Baldomero Aguinaldo Longcan, counsel, who led the first attack on Imus. As the head of the handful of men, armed only with spears and bolos, Baldomero hurls forth to Imus to test the reflexes of the Spanish defenders of the town. The resulting decisive of the victory Filipino revolutionary in Imus very much alarmed to the Spanish government in the country. The Battle of Binakayan Dalahican. The Battle of Binakayan and Dalahican was a still-used battle during the Philippine Revolution that was fought from November 9 to 11, 1896, leading to a decisive Filipino victory. Ang labanan ng Binakayan at Dalahican ay isang magkasabay na labanan noong Revolusyon ng Pilipino na humantong sa tagumpay ng mga Pilipino. Following the conflict, they attempted to subdue the revolutionaries in Cavite province with the twin battle in Binakayan and Dalahican. September 1896, Governor General Ramon Blanco Arenas ordered the 4th Battalion of Cazadores from Spain to aid him in quelling the rebellion in Cavite on November 3, 1986. The battalion arrived carrying a squadron of 1,328 men and some 55 officers. The Battle of Binakayan and Dalahican was a still-used battle during the Philippine Revolution that was fought from November 9 to 12, 1896, which led to a decisive Filipino victory. Also, Blanco ordered about 8,000 men who recently came from Cuba and Spain to join in suppressing the rebellion. Prior to the land attack, Spanish naval raids were conducted on the shores of Cavite. where cannons bombarded the revolutionary fortification in Bacoor, Noveleta, Binakayan, and Cavite Vieja. The most fortified location in Noveleta were the Lahican and the Gatan shores, defended by Magdiwang soldiers commanded by General Santiago Alvarez. And the Hadhesen fishing village of Binakayan in Kawit was fortified by Magdalo under General Emilio Aguinaldo. So, Spanish naval raids were conducted on the shores of Cavite where cannons bombarded revolutionary fortification in Bacoor, Noveleta, Binakayan, and Cavite Vieja. General Branco ordered about 8,000 men who recently came from Cuba and Spain to join in suppressing the rebellion. So the twin battle took place at the shores of Binakayan in the town of Cavite Vieja. Also shares Binakayan, also called Cavite El Viejo, now Kawit. The Lahican and the Kagan in Noveleta, and to a minimal extent in Imus and Bacoor towns in Cavite Province, Philippines, that lasted for 2 days before the Spanish unmerited demoralized in this area. Ang resulta ng labanan ay ang unang makabuluhang tagumpay ng mga Pilipino sa mga kasaysayan ng bansa.
I am Mark Delagon, and I'll be discussing the events of Battle of Zapote Bridge on February 17, 1897. After the Filipinos defeated the Spaniards in the first part of the revolution, especially in the Battle of Binakayan, Dalahican in 1896, Governor General Camilo de Polavieja, aware that the main way of the revolution is in Cavite, decided to launch a two-front assault that will defeat the revolutionaries led by Aguinaldo. So, anong nangyari dito? Napagtanto ni Gobernador General Camilo na ang sentro ng rebellion ay nasa Cavite at nalaman din niya na ito ay pinamumunuan ni Emilio Aguinaldo. So, anong nangyari? He ordered General Jose de la Cambre with a much bigger force to march against Silang to take on the Katipuneros from the rear, while he himself would engage the Filipinos head-on in what is known as the Cavite Offensive. Inutusan ni General Camilo si General Jose Lacambre na labanan ang mga Katipuneros, habang siya naman ay patungo sa kabilang bahagi ng Cavite. More than 20,000 of Spaniards marched from Manila towards Cavite province to reclaim the provincial towns lost to the revolutionaries. So ayun nga, mahigit na 20,000 ng Spaniards ang nagmarcha mula Maynila pa Cavite para bawiin ang mga bayang nabawi ng mga Pilipino sa nasabing lugar. At nang malaman ito ng mga Katipunero, they planned an attack towards Spaniards so that they could not enter into Cavite. Ang nangyari, halos 10,000 ng mga Katipunero ang nagtago sa mga palumpong na nasa paligid ng ilog ng Zapote, na ang tanging mga sandata lang ay sibat, bolo, at mga gawa-gawang baril. February 17, 1897. Ang araw na kung kailan naganap ang labanan sa tulay ng Zapote. Aguinaldo ordered soldiers to plant dynamite along the bridge and to place pointed bamboo in the river beds below the bridge. So, ito na nga yung ginawa nilang plano sa pag-atake sa mga Kastila, na inutusan ni Aguinaldo ang mga sundalo na magtanim ng mga dinamita sa paligid ng tulay. Tapos sa ilalim nito, sa may tubig, naglagay din sila ng mga matutulis na kawayan. Nang sa ganon, kapag nahulog ang mga Kastila sa pagsabog ng tulay, diretso dedo. Tapos several hours later, 16,000 of Spaniards began to cross the bridge. The trap was sprung and the dynamite was detonated, that killing several Spaniards. So ito na nga, habang dumadaan yung 16 Spaniards sa tulay, sumabog ito. Maaring pinasabog ng mga Katipunero or naapakan nila ito, depende kung ano yung nilagay nila doon sa depende kung ano yung dynamite depende kung ano yung dinamita na tinanim nila doon. Tapos ito din ang sanhi ng pagkamatay ng iilan sa mga Spaniards. Although there were so many died in both sides, but Filipino won against Spaniards after this fight. And during this fight, Evangelista was shot in the head and died. The Battle of Zapote Bridge in 1897 was so historic because Evangelista was recognized as a hero when he defended the Inang Bayan until his death. Now, we're going to tackle the Spanish Cavite Offensive and the Battle of Perez das Marinas. February 15, nag-umpisa ang Cavite Offensive hanggang sa March 24, 1897. February 27, 1897, the Spaniards began their assault on Perez das Marinas and its vicinities. So, matapos sa Zapote Bridge, sinunod na sinalakay ng mga Kastila ang lugar ng Perez das Marinas. At ito rin naman ay hinarang ng mga Katipunero habang sumusulong ang mga Kastila sa patungo sa Pasong Santol na isang landas sa baryo ng Salitran sa pagitan ng Imus at Perez. Meanwhile, on March 22, 1897, at the Tejeros Convention, Aguinaldo was chosen in Abencia as the leader of Reconstitute Revolutionary. So dito nga hinirang si Aguinaldo hinirang si Emilio Aguinaldo bilang pinuno ng isang revolusyonaryo. So yun. The Assembly ordered Colonel Vicente Riego de Dios to pick up Aguinaldo the following day from Pasong Santol. So dito nga, inutusan si Colonel Vicente na sunduin kinabukasan si Emilio Aguinaldo upang makadalo sa araw ng paghahalal sa kanya bilang kauna-unang Pangulo ng Pilipinas. Ngunit dahil sa nalalapit na pagsalaki ng mga Kastila, tumanggi ang bagong halal na Pangulo na dumalo. As a result, inutusan niya ang kanyang kapatid na si Crispolo Aguinaldo na sunduin siya. At ayon rin kay Crispolo, sabi raw ng mga Kastila, babawiin lamang ng mga Kastila ang bayan sa kanyang mga labi. As a result, Emilio Aguinaldo left and took his pledge. So, umalis na si Aguinaldo para manumpa sa kanyang panunungkulan sa opisina sa Santa Cruz de Malabon sa bayan ng Tanza. At noong araw rin na iyon ay nakaramdam si Emilio Aguinaldo ng panganib, kaya naman ay nagpadala siya ng reinforcement detachment. But it was stopped by Captain General Artemio Ricarte sa pagkukunwari ng paggamit sa reinforcement sa iba pang larangan na dahilan ng paghina sa Pasong Santol. As the result, ang kapatid ni Emilio na si Crispolo ay pinatay in the next day at Pasong Santol. Ang mga rebelde ay natalo and some of the survivors made it back to Imus.
Tejeros Convention, also known as Casa Hacienda de Tejeros. The revolutionary leaders called the convention in a friar state resident in Tejeros, ostensibly to discuss the defense of Cavite against the Spaniards during the Philippine Revolution. Naganap ito noong March 22, 1897 sa bayan ng San Francisco de Malabon na ngayon ay General Trias, Cavite. It was also to settle the dispute or gipagkakanawaan ng dalawang partido, the two council which is the Magdiwang and the Magdalo. Instead of focusing on the main agenda, nagbili siya ng mga leader ng Katipunan na magtatag ng bagong revolusyonaryong gobyerno kapalit ng Katipunan at maghalal ng mga opisyal para rito. Bonifacio within Magdiwang maintained the Katipunan was already sufficient or enough as their government, naniig pa rin ang mga Kabiteño Magdalo. Though Bonifacio considered Katipunan as the government, Bonifacio accepted it, in which the Republic of the Philippines was proclaimed.
Aguinaldo was elected as the president, and Andres Bonifacio, the former leader of Katipunan, elected as the director of the Interior. Initially, Bonifacio accepted this position. But then, Daniel Terona objected and said that hindi daw karapat-dapat si Bonifacio for that position. And si Bonifacio, he feel embarrassed and demand Terona to retract what he said and apologize to the assembly. Dahil sa pagkapahiyang nangyari kay Bonifacio, he declared that this assembly dissolved. Idiniklara ni Bonifacio bilang tagapangulo ng pagpupulong at supremo ng Katipunan na walang bisa ang nasabing halalan. Yung pagbawi ni Bonifacio was seen as an act of treason by others. Bonifacio was charged with refusing to recognize newly established revolutionary government. He was arrested and sentenced to death in Maragondon, Cavite. Okay, let's proceed the retreat to Montalban. Having lost to the Spanish after the Battle of Perez das Marinas, Aguinaldo's rearguard fought a delaying action against Spanish. Aguinaldo has a good rearguard that allowed them to retreat and escape while inflicting maximum damage to the enemy, and make some time until troops and strugglers, a group of people or soldiers who become separate from the others, had retreated southwest of Cavite. May 1897, concealing the retreating soldiers well, keeping secret or to hide, Aguinaldo managed to escape the Spanish and establish connection with General Mamerto Natividad. General Mamerto Alejandrino Natividad was a haciendero who also a Filipino military soldier who led numerous successful battles during Philippine Revolution against the Spaniards. Natividad was commissioned to find or look for a place of retreat, and he found Biak na Bato. But they encountered Spanish troops and many of revolutionaries got killed. However, some of them joined General Manuel Piño's Revolutionary Army in Nueva Ecija, where they decisively won the Battle of Aliaga. The Battle of Aliaga was fought on September 45, 1897 between the Philippine Revolutionaries of Nueva Ecija and the Spanish forces of Governor General Primo de Rivera. It is described as one of the most glorious battles of the Philippine Revolutionary War.
Of Biak na Bato since on December 15, 1897 in San Miguel, Bulacan, in the House of Public Treason are Philippine Revolutionary captain who served the Brigada del Pilar military troop of General Gregorio del Pilar during the Revolutionary. This created truce between Spanish colonial Governor General Fernando Primo de Rivera and Revolutionary Leader Emilio Aguinaldo, and this fellow revolutionary were given an amnesty and monetary indemnity by the Spanish government. His return, which the revolutionary government would go into exile in Hong Kong, Aguinaldo decide to use money,
Purchase advanced firearms and ammunition, later on returned to the archipelago.
The return to Philippines.
October 20, 1944, in few hours after the troops landed MacArthur within hours into Philippines island of Leyte. That day, he made a radio broadcast in which decided people of the Philippines, and I have returned in January 1945. Sports invaded the main Philippines island of the Luzon.
A blessed day. I'm Sean and I will discuss two last topics. Let's talk about the dictatorial government and the Battle of Alapan. So this is the logo of the dictatorial government of the Philippines. Dictatorship is a form of government in which one person or a small group possesses absolute power without effective constitutional limitations. The dictatorial government of the Philippines was an insurgent government in the Spanish East Indies, inaugurated during the Spanish-American War by Emilio Aguinaldo in a public address on May 24, 1898 on his return to the Philippines from exile in Hong Kong, and formally established on June 18. So 5 days after ng pagdating ni General Myong from Hong Kong, May 19, 1898, dumating siya. May 24, 1898, nag-public address siya. Then, June 18, he temporarily established a dictatorial government. If-familiar po sa inyo si Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista. Siya po yung nag-advise kay General Myong na mag-start nga po ng dictatorial kind of government. So, sa mga panahon po na to, our government then was officially a dictatorship under ni President Aguinaldo, formally holding the title of dictator. The government was succeeded by a revolutionary government which was established by Aguinaldo on June, which we will discuss later. Sa Battle of Alapan muna tayo. The Battle of Alapan was the first big military victory of General Emilio Aguinaldo after his return to the Philippines from Hong Kong on 19th day of May 1898 aboard a U.S. vessel provided by Admiral George Dewey after the American naval victory of the Battle of Manila Bay 2 weeks earlier. Aguinaldo returned from exile in Hong Kong, reconstituted the Philippine Revolutionary Army, gave orders for military offensives in Central Luzon and Tagalog provinces, and himself fought on close range against a garrison of Spanish troops in Alpan that lasted for 5 hours, when the Castillas ran off of ammunition and surrendered to the Filipinos. If May 19, he arrived from Hong Kong, May 24, public address, May 28, 1898 sa Alapan, Imus, Cavite, naganap ang isang madugong labanan between Filipino Revolutionary Forces laban sa 270 mga Kastila. This battle lasted for 5 hours, 10 o'clock in the morning hanggang 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Sa pamumuno ni President Aguinaldo, napapagsak nila ang mga Espanyol na pinamumunuan ni General Leopoldo Garcia Peña, resulted the triumph of the Filipinos. After ng labanan na ito, ay display ni President Aguinaldo ang Philippine flag. So that's why we celebrate May 28 as National Flag Day to commemorate this moment. Now, let's go to the next one. Let's talk about the Declaration of Philippine Independence and the Revolutionary Government. Trivia. I will give a trivia. Did you know that Emilio Aguinaldo was not the one who read the Act of Declaration of Philippine Independence? Yes, this is one of the misconceptions in our history. Si Ambrosio Rianzares Bautista po ang nagbasa and siya rin po ang author nito. The one who advised General Myong to start a dictatorial government. The Philippine Declaration of Independence was proclaimed by Filipino Revolutionary Forces General Emilio Aguinaldo on 12th day of June 1898 in Cavite, El Viejo, present-day Cavite, Philippines. It asserted the sovereignty and independence of the Philippine Islands from the colonial rule of Spain. So after nga ng mga nangyari, ang nag-declare ng dictatorial government, then the bloody battle in Alapan, finally, the Declaration of Independence, ginawa ito sa Cavite na pinanguna ni President Aguinaldo. The purpose of this is to proclaim the sovereignty and independence of the Philippines from the colonial rule of the Spanish Empire. As a Filipino, syempre nakaka-proud dito, but at the same time, di pa nila alam yung mga susunod na mangyayari if totoo bang makakalain natin dito. And then the revolutionary government. So, this is the logo of the revolutionary government of the Philippines. A revolutionary republic is a form of government whose main tenets are popularity, sovereignty, rule of law, and representative democracy. It is based in a part of the ideas of Whig and Enlightenment thinkers and was favored by revolutionaries during the Age of Revolution. The revolutionary government of the Philippines was established in the Spanish East Indies on June 23, 1898 during the Spanish-American War by Emilio Aguinaldo, its initial and only president. That the government succeeded a dictatorial government which had been established by Aguinaldo on June 18 and which was dissolved and replaced by this government upon its establishment. This government endured until January 23, 1899 when the proclamation of the Malolos Constitution established an insurgent Philippine Republic government which replaced it. After a few days nung nag-declare siya ng dictatorial government, Aguinaldo issued a decree replacing the dictatorial government with revolutionary government with himself as president dahil na rin nirekomenda ito ng kanyang advisor which is si Apolinario Mabini. So the decree defined the organization of the central government and the establishment and the election of delegates to the Revolutionary Congress and to prepare the shift galing sa isang revolutionary government tungo sa isang republika. That's all. Thank you.